For Michael Neal, researching how appraisal bias impacts communities of color has been a main part of his work at the Urban Institute.
A lot of people have been concerned for years about bias in the industry. What types of biases are people saying that they're experiencing or that they've heard of?
This is an issue I think that has been long-standing in terms of the stories that we've heard. I mean, I remember my parents, my grandparents telling me exactly these stories of, an appraiser coming in saying that the home is worth X, and then finding another appraiser who says, no, it's valued at X plus whatever number you want to put on the end of that. Stories around, hey, this home is located in a particular neighborhood, and there might be a degree of subconscious bias on the part of the appraiser when they're assessing the value of the home. And there's very little that can be done about that. And so these are really the stories that I think have generated not just research, but more importantly, policy discussion around the issue.
Last year, the Urban Institute wrote a report entitled Reengineering the Appraisal Process, which delves into computer models. An automated valuation model is a type of computer model used to analyze property value, often with commercial or real estate property. Neal says these models could potentially be a solution to helping eliminate appraisal bias.
Broadly speaking, the report is saying instead of starting with the human appraiser and then using the automated valuation model as almost a check, so to speak, let's reverse the process. Start with the automated valuation model, and then use a check in terms of the estimates by human appraisers.
Neal says if they're able to remove that bias, the industry could close some of the disparities that they're seeing. But Neal cautions, even computer-generated models can have a risk of being biased as well. If the data is historically biased, so can the valuation models.
On its face, it seems like automated valuation models can be something that can eliminate or significantly reduce some of the racial inequities that we see. That being said, we have certainly done research. We have contributed to work illustrating that that is not always the case. In fact, under certain conditions, using some automated valuation models, you can get racially different estimates in terms of what the value of the property is. And so there, I think it's a question of ensuring that you have the right metrics and the right inputs and the right data to test those models to make sure that they're producing equitable results for all communities.
What other short-term or long-term solutions can be done to reduce appraisal bias?
Being able to diversify the industry in a way that brings in people who might have stronger lived experience in terms of communities of color, their history, but also how we might think about the process of valuing properties. Another one is thinking about when we think about comparable sales, and we think about what are the right communities that we need to pull those sales from, going past some of the traditional kind of jurisdictions to look maybe on the other side of the railroad tracks, on the other side of the street, on the other side of the highway, to actually find what might be structures that are more aligned and more akin to the ones that are in communities of color.